Assalamualaikum, my name is Hanis Aina and I'm from class AA2413A. So today I would like to show how my coding functioning. So for my programming, it is for the library system. So first, I'm including all the libraries that I want to use, which is for the files, and also I'm including the library for time because I'm include the date in the data. So next I declare I'm using the namespace std, which is important for the C++. And then I declare all the void that I want to use in this system. So I have 6 void, which is add book, update book, delete book, borrow book, return book, and also the 6th one is add new user. So all the void have the same component except for return book and also the add new user. So for example, for the return book, I'm including for the charges whenever the user late return the book. And then for the add new user, I'm just using the ID and also the name of the customers, and I save it in the file which is have the ID. I'm saved in the file which is the ID file. So in the file it will show the ID, the name of the customers, the date of the customer came to, and it will include the date of the date that customer added in the system. And then continue to the main function. So because of I'm using the structured data, so I need to use the int main. So first I'm declare all the variables in the main, which is different from the void. So first is auto choice, next is user, next is password, and then book ID, and then inner choice 1 and inner choice 2. And then I continue to show the menu. So first is I'm using the while for the menu. So the while is auto choice, and the auto choice is between 1 to 3 only. If it is more than 3 or lower than 1, it will show errors. So the menu has customer and admin, and also the exit for the user to exit from the system. The user, if the user is entering the choice 1, which is for the customers, so it will continue to enter the username and then enter the password. It's up to you what is your username and what is your password. And then the login is successfully. Then you need to select your option, which is in this option, in this customer option, you have only 2 options, which is borrow book and return a book. And when the user is choosing the first option, which is borrow a book, so it will enter the switch case function, which is switch case 1, borrow book. Here is the function call. It will call the function of the void borrow book. So we can show it here. So void borrow book, the user will enter the ID, it will enter the name of the book without space, and then it will enter the name of the book author without space, and all of that will save into book ID file. And in the file it will show the book ID, name, author, year, month, and date. If the user is choosing the number 2 option, the option of number 2, which is return a book, so it will enter the switch case number 2, and the function call here is return book, so it will call the void for return book. So here is the void for return book. So the user will enter the book ID, and then the book name, and then the book author, and then the fine if the user is late return the book. So for example, when we run this system, example for the customer, because we choose one, so enter your name and your password, only the numeric, and then for example we borrow a book, and the book ID is 1234, and the book name is Flying Higher, and then the book author without space, which is Peter Sandberg. So we enter. So the borrow book successfully. So in order to show how the data is saved, you need to exit 2 times, and it will update here, which is the book ID 1234, the book name Flying Higher, and the book author Peter Sandberg, and the date that you borrow the book. And for returning the book, so customers, enter your name, enter your password, and then return a book, which is 2. The book is 1234, and the book name is Flying Higher, and then the book author, which is Peter Sandberg. So here is the additional function, which is the fine. If you late return the book, you enter 1. If not, you enter 0. So for example, we late return the book, so 1. So for how many days? So for how many days, for example, I am late returning the book for 5 days. So the total charges is RM2.50. So to show the data in the file, we have to exit 2 times. So here is the file, which is the book ID, the book name Flying Higher, the book author Peter Sandberg, the date that you return the book, and also the charges. Here is the additional information, which is the charges, RM2.50. Next is for the second of the choice, which is number 2. Number 2 is for admin. So for admin, we have 7 choices. Start with the add book and last with the exit. As you can see, if the user is choose 2, so it will enter their username, their password, and then it will continue to the while function. So while in this while, it used for menu to show what is the option. So first, if the user is entering within 1 to 7, so the function will continue. But if the user entering other numbers, it will show errors. So first, if the user entering 1 to 7, 1 to 6, so it will enter the switch case. So for this switch case, I'm using all the function call. It is because I have declared the void, so I'm just using the function call. So I'm using the function call add book, update book, delete book, add new user, borrow book, and return book. In this function, we have 6 options. And if the user entering other than these numbers, so it will show the invalid choice and they need to enter the new one. And if the user entering the number 7, so the system will exit to the first menu, and then we return 0 to end the INT main. So for example, when we run this system, we choose admin, and then we enter your name, your password. So for example, we add new book, so the ID is 1234. It's the same with the others, with the borrow and return book. fly higher. For example, we put fly higher, and then click the symbol. Okay, so the book had been added successfully. In order to show the data, we have to exit. So exit 2 times. So it will show here. So it is the book ID. This is the book name. Peter Simon is the book author, and the date that you saved the book. As you know, the book name is Flying Higher, right? Because you borrowed the Flying Higher, not the Fly Higher. So we need to update. So in order to update, you need to choose. As the same, you enter the username, the password. Then you need to choose the update any book. Then we enter the same ID because the book ID is the same 1, 2, 3, 4. And the book name, we need to change it into Flying Higher. So Flying Higher, and then enter book author without space, which is Peter Simon. So the book had been updated successfully. So in order to show the data in the file, we need to exit 2 times. So it has been updated. So the book ID is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the book name is Flying Higher. The book author is Peter Simon, and the date that you update is 21 July 2021. For the delete book, in order you don't want to use this book anymore, you need to delete the book by using this function, just in the function admin only. So you enter your name, your password. So delete book. So enter your ID, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Book name Flying Higher, and then the book author. So the book had been deleted successfully. So in order to show in the file, you need to exit 2 times. So it will show here, it is show the date that you delete the book, which is 21 July 2021. So borrow and return book just same as the customer one. And for the add new user, it has special features, which is we just put the ID and the name, and it will show in the library. So for the add new user, only admin can add the user. So enter your name, enter your password, and then add new user, which is number 4, and then enter the 4-digit numeric ID. So for example, the student have ID 0915, for example. So enter the name without space. For example, my name Hanis Aina. So the new user is added successfully. So in order to show it in the file, you need to exit 2 times. It will show here, which is 0915. The 0 in the front will be hidden, but it stays 0915. So the ID is 0915. The name of the user Hanis Aina, and the date the user come to be the new customer. Here is how my coding functioning for this library system. It is just so simple. And for this coding, there have some troubleshoot that I do, especially for the character variables. The character variables, you need to put this array, which is, it's up to you. Is it 20, 30, 40? It is, the number shows how big your arrays is. If you do not put the arrays, your coding will go double. For example, if I'm not using this array, for example, I'm using 1, so it cannot show. You cannot enter your name and you cannot enter your password if you do not put the array, because if you do not put the array, it means the array is 0, so you cannot put your data, which is your name, into that character, and it just return to the next function. So if I put back my array, so you can enter your name and you can enter your password. It is very important to ensure to declare how big your array is. If you want to use big array, so you need to put more places. For writing the function call, you need to write it as borrow book only. You cannot put the void, it is against the rule of the void function. And for the switch case function, you need to put default in order to end the switch case, or you don't have to write the switch case until infinity. You just put default if you have written all the options. It will just exit to the first menu if you put the default. It will make you easy to check and use the function. So I think it is all for my coding, and thank you.